Deep in the heart of the whispering woods lived a little bluebird named Binnie. Binnie loved nothing more than singing. He would sing while he was building his nest. He would sing while he was raising his babies. And he would especially sing when he was hanging out with his best friend, a squirrely squirrel named Sammy. One day, Sammy was scampering up and down a tree when he spotted something strange. "Hey, Binnie, come take a look," he shouted, jumping from branch to branch. "What is it, Sammy?" asked Binnie, flying over to his friend. "Look what I found," Sammy exclaimed. And there, nestled among the roots of the tree, was a small wooden box. Binnie landed on the ground next to the box and peered inside. "What's in here looks like a big juicy worm, but it's moving kind of funny," he said. Sammy leaned in close. "Maybe it's a magic worm," he whispered. Just then, a loud voice boomed from inside the box. "Don't eat me." They both jumped back in surprise. "Eat you? Why would we eat you?" asked Binnie. "You look delicious," Sammy added. "Please don't eat me," the voice begged. "I'm not delicious. I'm a robot. And if you open this box, my mission will fail and all of outer space could be destroyed." "Outer space? You're just a little robot," Binnie chirped, chuckling. "And who's going to stop me from opening this box?" Sammy asked, already reaching for the lid. As soon as he touched it, though, the box began to shake violently. "Stop, please," the robot cried. Suddenly, the shaking stopped. The robot's voice was now calm and even. "If you let me out of this box, I'll grant you each a wish." Binnie and Sammy looked at each other. A wish? What would they wish for? "Ooh, I want to see what's outside the whispering woods," Binnie exclaimed. Sammy thought for a moment. "That's a great wish, Binnie. But why don't we ask him for something better? Like how about a lifetime supply of acorns?" "Acorns? Yuck, I don't want acorns," Sammy replied. "But you always say you love acorns." "Well, I do, but a lifetime supply is just too many acorns." "What about you, Binnie?" "Me? Oh, I don't know," he said, scratching his head. Sammy thought out loud. "How about we ask him to build us a treehouse? One with lots of rooms, enough for all our animal friends to live in." "A treehouse," Binnie repeated. "Oh yeah, that would be really fun." At that moment, the box lid shot open and out popped the robot. "So what are your wishes?" he asked. "I wish for a giant treehouse," Sammy said. "And I wish to see beyond the whispering woods," Binnie added. The robot waved his little robotic arms. "As you wish." In a flash, a magnificent treehouse appeared before them. It had towers and balconies, rope bridges and secret passages. There were windows everywhere to see the world outside the woods. It was everything Sammy and Binnie had dreamed of, and more. As they flew and scurried around, exploring their new home, the robot cleared his throat. So where are my thank you gifts?" he asked. Sammy and Binnie stopped and stared at him. They had completely forgotten about thanking him. "Oh, I'm sorry," stammered Binnie. "It's just that this treehouse is so amazing. We got so caught up," Sammy added. "No, it's all right," the robot said with a smile. "It was my pleasure. After all, that's what robots do, make people happy." Binnie and Sammy exchanged uneasy glances. Sammy cleared his throat. Well, if you have nothing else to do, maybe you could help us move in," he suggested. "Move in? Help you move in?" The robot looked confused. "Didn't you invite me to live here? In the treehouse?" asked Binnie. "Oh," Sammy said, suddenly realizing how rude he had been. "Of course you can live with us in the treehouse. I'm sorry I didn't mention it before." "It's all right," the robot replied, smiling again. "I'd love to live in a treehouse." The three friends spent the rest of the day unpacking boxes and making the treehouse feel like home. As the sun began to set, they sat together on a balcony, sipping acorn juice. "This is the best day ever," Binnie sighed happily. It sure is, Sammy agreed, gazing at the stars above him. You know, the robot began, living in a treehouse and having friends is everything I've ever dreamed of. But I can't help but wonder what life would be like on other planets. Other planets, Sammy and Binnie said in unison. The robot smiled. I knew you'd understand. You're such good friends, always ready for an adventure. That reminds me, before I came here, I was on a mission to collect laughter from different planets. Would you like to hear the sounds of distant galaxies? Binnie and Sammy looked at each other. They had been so focused on themselves and their own wishes that they had done stop to think about their new friend. Of course we'll listen, Binnie said. We're your friends, remember? The robot beamed. Thank you. Now, let me show you the sounds of space. He closed his eyes, and with a wave of his magic wand, the balcony transformed into a rocket ship. Hold on tight, he said with a wink. Then he pressed a button. Woo! The rocket zoomed through the galaxy, passing by planets of all shapes and sizes. Some were made of ice, others made of cheese. One planet was filled with singing flowers, and on another, a group of friendly aliens were playing a musical instrument that looked like a giant comb. The robot pointed out each place and told them all about it. Isn't this amazing? He exclaimed. All these wonderful places exist beyond the Whispering Woods. When the ride was over and the robot opened his eyes, Binnie and Sammy were asleep. They had never known their world could be so big and exciting. The next morning, Binnie and Sammy woke up and ran to the balcony. The robot was nowhere to be seen. Where do you think he went? Binnie asked. Sammy shrugged. I don't know, but I'm sure he'll be back, he replied. And sure enough, a few hours later, the robot returned, looking very upset. What's wrong? Sammy asked. I tried to call my home planet today, but the connection was bad. I couldn't get through, the robot said sadly. Oh, Binnie and Sammy said in unison. They understood exactly how the robot felt. Sometimes they, too, wanted to talk to their families, but because the robot had fixed his home planet's communication system, they no longer had to worry about the connection being bad. Is there anything we can do to help? Sammy asked. The robot shook his head. No, it's all right. I'll just have to try again tomorrow, he said with a sad smile. Binnie and Sammy didn't want their friend to be sad on his special day, so they invited him to play a game of tag. They ran and hid and flew all over the treehouse until the robot was laughing and smiling again. Thank you, he said, wiping tears from his eyes. You're true friends, indeed. Binnie and Sammy looked at each other. They had been friends for a long time, but they had never realized how lucky they were to have each other. Through thick and thin, they were always there for one another. From that day on, Binnie, Sammy, and the robot were the best of friends. They shared their joys and sorrows, their dreams and fears, and most importantly, they learned the true meaning of friendship and kindness. Every night before they went to sleep, they would tell each other all the things they were grateful for, including the beautiful treehouse, and most of all, their wonderful friendship. And so their lives went on in the magical treehouse, filled with adventure, laughter, and most importantly, love. The end.